The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
The good vibes are gone for your Vancouver Canucks. JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, wake the heck up, man. If it wasn't for the Locked On Creator being here, I'd be freaking...
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to the Postcast here on Locked On Canucks after a 3-1 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of the show, also a Canucks writer with Daily High Vancouver. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle Bhawan. And more importantly, we got the creator of Locked On Canucks. Maybe we'll get into the origin story in a little bit, but we've been trying to get the GOAT of Locked On Canucks, the origin master of Locked On Canucks here. But we finally got him hammered in Vegas. Nick Bondi, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm literally in the floor of the Vegas trip right now. So yeah, it's been I wish the result was a bit better, but yeah.
Dude, you got a first-hand glance at that, Bondi. Okay, so with all the noise that's happening around Pettersson and Miller, and again, I don't know how else we can start this game without talking about them, because they were both pretty memorable during the empty net goal for the Vegas Golden Knights, right? You got Miller with his hands up in there a little bit, signaling Lankinen to get out of the net. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just ironic with the Miller noise and his pass, and you got Pettersson failing to get the puck in. Boom, bam, Vegas scores a goal. We saw the depth of this team show up, but again, against a big team, they didn't do it. And I'm talking about the superstars of this team up front. Bondi, how does that make you feel? On a day like this, when you're in Vegas, Pettersson and Miller, the Twins today, they both no-show again in Vegas.
I will say that I think they're gonna have to settle this one way or another by the end of the season.
How are they gonna settle this?
It's not even like while I'm here. It's just more of a situation where they're gonna have to settle it by the time we're done. By the time we're done.
Yo, somebody's getting whacked, eh? Okay, so but explain that. Like, what do you see happening? Okay, Pettersson, again, we're talking to Nick Bondi in Vegas, the creator of Locked On Canucks. I think so. If you know the origin story of this whole thing.
All right, hold
on. Hey,
I'm not the creator of Locked On Canucks.
Hey, I think you are, bro, based on the history. Anyways,
I don't think so.
Okay, how do they settle this though? Like, what by the end of the year, like, bro, last time I checked, the Canucks had how many wins did the Canucks have this year? 15, is that right? 15, am I right? I think that's right? The Chicago Blackhawks have 12. Okay, so what's going to happen here? If they do settle it by the end of the year, who goes? Again, I don't think anyone goes, but Bondi, I want to hear from you, man. You a couple beers deep, baby.
What I know is they're gonna settle it by the end of the season, right? They're gonna settle by the end of the season.
Nick Bondi is confident, man. There we go. Bondi, we need your confidence right now, man. We need your confidence.
No, from my situation, where if they go on a deep playoff run like last year, they'll keep the team together, right? But if they miss the playoffs or they flame out in the first round like if they flame out in the first round, then it's not happening.
Damn, bro, that quickly, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Again, there's so much irony in this game based on what we didn't see and, again, what happened at the very end. Trevor, do we want to start off by talking about the good, or do you want to just keep touching on this Pettersson and Miller thing? Because I'm just disappointed that
it's a legit thing. It's a legit thing. It's a legit thing.
You got your sources or what,
buddy? Let's not kid ourselves. It's a legit thing.
Why are you saying it like that? Do you know something or what?
That's just what the vibes I get from the from what I'm watching the team. It's a legit thing.
Oh, this guy was there. He watched that team. Now, Beggsy, again, Sherwood, 55,000 chances today. Sherwood making $1.5 million. The depth of this team played hard today. But there was, again, the top of the lineup, Besser included, not helping Quinn Hughes out at all. What do you have to say about that, Beggsy?
Well, I'm glad you brought up Brock Besser, because I think, a ton of noise right now around Miller and Pettersson, and rightly so. As the Locked On creator says, but Bonnie, I don't care, man. You're the original host of Locked On Canucks, man. You're the creator. But as he says, I mean, it's a legit thing right now between Miller and Pettersson. The fight of practice, Miller's absence, the tension going back to previous years, Boudreau's comments. I mean, there's so much smoke here around these two players, and it's culminated in them both struggling right now. It would be one thing if these two players were struggling, but they were maybe competing against each other and both putting up points and beefing each other at the same time. Then it'd be a bit of a different vibe. But the fact that Pettersson's now gone 5 games without a point, the fact that Miller's gone since October, since scoring on an NHL goalie. Again, his last 2 goals are empty net goals. And now you have Brock Besser since returning to the lineup. And I know coming back from a concussion obviously is tough, but he's got 2 goals in his last 12 games since returning, 2 goals and 8 points, I believe. And over his last 5 games, just has 1 goal, and he's got pointless in 4. So the Canucks stars are letting this team down right now. And you got Quinn Hughes out there playing on one goddamn knee. Bonnie, I'm sure you were hurting when Quinn Hughes blocked that shot with his knee tonight. Kiefer Sherwood goes down. He gets banged up a little bit in a collision as well. Both those guys played hurt, and they were 2 of the best Canucks on the ice tonight. I mean, that is the kind of heart and soul you want to see from players for your hockey team. And again, Sherwood and Hughes, they balled out tonight, and the dudes making the most money on this team did not ball out. And that's got to be frustrating, man.
Of course it is, man. Come on, man. Bondi spent his hard-earned.
Where's Quinn Hughes in this whole situation?
Oh, like
where's Quinn Hughes? Where's Quinn Hughes? If you're the captain, where's Quinn Hughes? If you're the guy who's trying to sort this all out, if you're not the person who's trying to sort this out, where are you?
as far as like getting the boys together, like are you talking? Are you talking about Nick Bondi? Are you telling me that Quinn Hughes needs to step up and bring the boys together in Vegas right now? Like, are you telling me he should gather up the troops?
He doesn't have to do it in Vegas, but
nah, he's got to do it in Vegas. I want to see a story. I want to see you with your shirt
I
off.
don't give a shit where he does it, but if you're the captain, that's part of your job.
To bring the boys together, to like, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. So how does he do that though? Give me a scenario, bro. Let's find solutions here. What does Quinn Hughes got to do?
I don't give a shit. Just fucking figure it out. If you're the captain, fucking figure it out.
Hey, okay. All right, guys. Okay, that was Nick Bondi, creator of Locked On. Okay, bye, Bondi. Okay. That was great. Okay. Yo, that's great. That was awesome.
Oh, man.
Yo, hey, Quinn Hughes has to do it on the ice and off the ice. Bro, again, you think I'm joking about this? I don't know if anyone does. I know my aunt's in the comments. She's calling me negative, all this stuff, but like we just gotta have the boys and stay in Vegas tonight, and they gotta go partying tonight. Okay, straight up. They gotta hug it out. I don't know what song should be. Don't you worry now. The heaven's got a plan for you. Down. You know, they need one of those moments in Vegas. Trevor, how do they fix this, man?
Oh, I think it starts with that song, and by 3 a.m. they're singing Queen, like, "Ooh, you're my best friend." Dun 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 dun. There we go, man. I mean, look, Kyle, we said that win or loss, the boys got to go out in Vegas tonight and try to get together and solve this, man. And I think on the road is where the boys get together, man. You're away from your families. It's time for the boys. And look, the Canucks have been a rock solid team on the road this season. Let's not forget about that. I mean, even after the loss tonight, they are 10-3-2 on the road. And look, I mean, it was John Shorthouse said it during the first period of the broadcast, and I think he was bang on that, Vegas hadn't played since Sunday. Today is Thursday. Often when you're off for that amount of time, you come out a little slow, and the Canucks came out firing in the first period. Like, that was a great first period of this team. It did seem like everyone was going. Again, it was really the fourth line of the Canucks, I guess, tonight, Bluger, Heinen, and Sherwood, who balled out the most. But the team was flying around in the first period, and it looked like, damn, they're actually going to put it to Vegas. They're going to perform. And then what they had, I don't even know. What did they have? 10 shots on goal the rest of the game? So it was really, and it's, again, this was always going to be a tough game. The second night of back-to-backs. But again, when you guys, much noise as you have right now around Miller and Pettersson, and the tension, and they're swapping on the power play, neither of them are looking good at all. I mean, it's just a messy situation for the Canucks right now. And again, these two need to figure it the F out, or else this Canucks team is going to be in trouble because they need their star players.
Okay, you know what, man, Trevor, can we just be a little bit positive before we get to the other side? Okay, look at this comment from my aunt, okay? 2 kids, and she's still watching every single minute, okay? Again, the Canucks didn't have a lot of shots. In fact, they probably finished with like 22, 23, 24. I don't know. They had a bunch at the end of the third period. But my aunt is saying Adin Hill played great. I thought both goaltenders didn't have to face a lot of action, but they made a lot of big saves. I feel as if we might have saw 2 of the biggest saves of the year, the most talented saves of the year, okay? Adin Hill on Pius Suter and Kevin Lankinen on Mark Stone. Again, I think the Canucks had maybe 2 or 3 backdoor plays that they could have finished off. Quinn Hughes got robbed by Adin Hill too. There was moments there, like Nancy's saying, where the Canucks could have finished, but Adin Hill was great. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, there's still that there's still that same team that barely beat Nashville. You know, that there's still that same team after February that can't take any shots, they can't generate any offense. Like having 14 shots, 15 minutes into the game, it's getting tiring. It's BS, as Bondi would say. It's bullshit. Okay, he would say it's pucking bullshit. Okay, at the same time though, Trevor, I'm sorry. Maybe you got to shut me up, and maybe you got to instill some more Christmas spirit in me, okay? But I feel like this is just the Canucks, man, especially if Miller and Pettersson can't live together, you know? Can't Kobe and Shaq it and just figure it out and play elite as a 1-2 punch down the middle. They're going to generate 20 shots. Like, I don't know. Like, this is your Canucks. Like, how many times in the last 60 games, Jeff Patterson, get on it, have they had 15 or 16 shots with 15 minutes left in the game? Or you know what I'm saying? It's just not good enough. And yeah, give credit to Vegas, a good defensive team. Peter Angelo after the game talking about how in the last couple of weeks, that's how they found their success. But just not good enough. Like excuses, you can't just use the same excuse every time. Like that is so boring. They're playing such boring hockey. And at the same time, it's like, dude, it's just maybe who they are.
Yeah, and they've been this way for a while, right, in terms of not shooting the puck. So, you know, I think that a lot of people got to take some blame right now. You know, Rick Tocchet, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson. Look, there are some positives for this team, and we mentioned it this week on other shows, on the Postcast as well. There are positives to take away, but eventually the Canucks need to find another gear here. So maybe we'll talk about how they can find another gear on the other side. Let's get to some comments as well. The comments are popping off right now. And maybe the Locked On creator Nick Bondi, he'll get a couple more beers deep, and we'll give him a shout as well, because I needed that laugh after the loss.
We call him back. Yeah.
You listen to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. We'll be back on the other side to get to more of your comments after we shout out our friends over at FanDuel and SelectQuote. All right, on FanDuel, whether it's the NFL, whether it's the NHL, make sure you bet with FanDuel. They are America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place, baby. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Now, Kyle, I'm not going to lie. I very, very rarely bet on the Canucks because I'm too emotionally invested, man. But tonight, if you bet on Vegas to cover on the puck line, you would have more than doubled the money that you put in there. Again, I'm not saying I would do that, but if you did it, you are smart. And if you're making bets like that, make sure you do so on FanDuel. If you're a new customer, get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. And that's on FanDuel.com. The World Series, the Super Bowl, the Olympics. The world's top athletes get to play in these top-level sporting events thanks to one thing: teamwork. Teamwork. You hear that, Miller? Pettersson? Teamwork. Come on, get it together. And teamwork, okay? You know who knows about teamwork? SelectQuote, okay? Their licensed insurance agents are the perfect teammates, okay? They scratch each other's backs, and they shop for a customized, affordable life insurance for you. They can find you the right policy to keep your financial legacy safely in your family's end zone. Other life insurance brokers offer impersonal, one-size-fits-all, individualistic policies that may cost you more and cover you less, while SelectQuote's licensed insurance agents work for you to tailor a life insurance policy for your individual needs in as little as 15 minutes. And if you are in good health, they work with carriers that can get you same-day coverage up to $5 million. No medical exam required. Wow. At SelectQuote, they shop and you save, baby. Get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/lockedonnhl. Go to selectquote.com/lockedonnhl and get started today. That's selectquote.com/lockedonnhl.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks, Kyle Bhawan, Trevor Beggs. You know, we watched the game, every minute of that game, and so did you. So let's get to your comments. Look at this comment from Colder Kid PD. Okay, I really think the Pettersson versus Miller stuff is made up media BS. I was there a couple days ago. Then I woke up and heard the Bruce Boudreau thing, and I'm kind of just a little sensitive right now. I feel like I'm believing it now. And it didn't hold this team back in the first period, but again, Trevor, the whole power play thing, I'm not liking the fact that now they're switching these guys, not game to game, but power play to power play within the game. That is the opposite of what a good power play could do, okay, or should do, okay? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And Taka could talk about how he's experimenting and whatnot, but that's just bad coaching and not executing, for real. You know what that is, Trevor? That's throwing shit at a wall. I'm sorry, Locked On. I'm sorry for Vegas. I'm a little drunk too. Okay, that's just throwing stuff at a wall, hoping that it works out. Like you're switching your best forward on your power play unit within the game now, not game after game, but within the game. That's confusing. That's not going to work out.
No other team in the NHL is doing this right now. No other team is doing this because good teams don't just swap their stars willy-nilly from power play to power play and hope it works out. It's not a winning recipe. And again, for people in the comments like Calder Kid PD, I mean, I want to believe that it's made up BS too. I really want to believe that. But I just think there's too much smoke here to think that it's made up BS. I mean, Miller has gone on the record in 2023 in an interview with Ian McIntyre said, you know, we have a lot of differences, but we're working on it, right? He had that quote. And obviously the scuffle of practice, Miller takes a lead. PD plays well, he's gotten to come back, and now they both play like crap. Like I want to just think that it's all in our heads and that it's all BS, but there's too much smoke there. And, you know, I see Calder Kid PD in the comments also saying Garland and Dakota Joshua, Chuck Knuckles, and there wasn't much BS about it. And those two became line mates and they hit it off. But Miller and Pettersson fought at practice, and it's just been kind of sour ever since,
come on,
right?
Trevor, don't be that media guy. You know, I see your devil horns coming up, you Illuminati mother effer. Okay, come on, man. They didn't fight. They just, you know, little boom bam, little hey, wake up, PD, blah blah blah. But yeah, to the dude's point, I mean, like you just touched on, right? Like Garland and Joshua didn't just play great hockey last season. Like they had great chemistry together too. As a bonus, we were able to like kind of forget about it. But this time around, it just like if it's there, it's sad because it's ultimately scary. Like if it's there and it's already there just months after being good, finally, after half a decade with this core being so mediocre and so bad, it's just, again, scary because it's a sign of an immature team and a team that isn't really prioritizing winning. You know what I'm saying? Like they're letting their emotions get in the way, and it's a damn shame. But all in all, though, even if they didn't have this little squabble or this little beef, it's not good enough as a Canucks fan to still have to wait this long for the 1-2 punch to really be hitting, you know, on all cylinders. That being said, Trevor, and I promise we'll get to the good. I promise. This is again super negative. Tell me to shut up in the comments if we should just get to the positives. But you know, you look at the top six, and we're in game 31 against Vegas. Pretty big game, right? Canucks have been win-loss. It feels like that for a while. Trying to find some consistency, trying to find some momentum. And in the top six, you got Carlson and DiGiuseppe.
Yeah. And you know what? I honestly didn't hate that tonight because when you looked at the Canucks lineup, it felt like they could roll lines 1 through 4. And I thought DiGiuseppe was fine. You know, Carlson's a pretty quiet player overall, but I don't think he hurt the Canucks in any way. But then you got your third line of Joshua, Suter, and Garland, your fourth line, which is the best line tonight. So I like the balance in the lineup. It's a second night of back-to-backs. You get some fresh blood in the lineup. To me, that's not a bad strategy. I didn't really have much issue with that tonight. Now, if you want to talk about the good, I'm going to bring up Connor Garland quick because Connor Garland it seems like when everything's hitting the fan amongst Canucks stars, and again, Pettersson, Miller, Bessa, they're all struggling. DeBruska's gone kind of quiet too, as he does throughout his NHL career. He goes cold, he goes hot, he goes cold. He's like my bedroom game for sure, But Connor Garland, again, tonight, 16:53 was his ice time at even strength. The next highest Canuck was Elias Pettersson at 14:54. So Connor Garland had 2 more minutes than any other Canucks forward at even strength. It does seem like when all else fails, Rick Tocchet is just playing the wheels off of Connor Garland. And Kyle, can you blame him?
I don't blame him, but at the same time, Connor Garland probably has 0 goals in his last 10 games. It feels like that. Like he's gone pretty quiet offensively too. Maybe he's got the assist there, but it's not really on him because I feel like he's like a 70-point guy at best when he's firing on all cylinders, right? Like 70 points. He's not going to always pick up points and always do his thing, but even he's dried off, putting more pressure on Pettersson and Miller. I mean, if you're going to single out one guy today, especially in the forward group, it was Kiefer Sherwood. Like this guy was too good to watch against a big, strong team. It's just like what a signing. This guy definitely is in the top 5 of signings via July 1 or any sort of time frame in free agency. And just to see him do it again in back-to-back nights, it just seems as if and also coming off the hat trick a couple days ago, like again, as Carmen was talking about in the comments, because it has to do with the team having a lot of good players, right? And Carmen is saying, the good news here is there's still a lot of opportunity to turn this around. As my aunt was saying, we're only a couple points out of second place in the division. The locker room is filled with good players, and it's better that they go through this now than later in March. Which, Carmen, you're right. Okay, Carmen, thank you. Mr. Deepak Chopra over here, okay? I love it. That's the positivity we need because there's a lot of truth in that. And the truth also is Kiefer Sherwood is really, really good. Really good. He might be a tier above Pius Suter. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, he might be a guy that can help raise the floor of this team. He's just a guy you need in the playoffs. And when all this other stuff is happening, all this other noise, it sucks that we can't just talk about the game, even though we could. But if again, we're talking about this game in general, Canucks fans, just be proud of Kiefer Sherwood, man.
Yeah, 100%. And again, the floor of the team is pretty high right now. And look at the goal scorers in the last handful of games for the Canucks. You've had, obviously Teddy Blueger tonight. The last game it was Heinen and Joshua. Then you had Sherwood with a 3-goal game. It's the depth guys that are stepping up right now, right? It's not the stars. And Kyle, you mentioned Connor Garland. I checked it quickly. Connor Garland hasn't scored since his OT winner in Buffalo back at the end of November. So no goals, 4 assists in 10 games in the month of December. I will say Connor Garland, I always feel like he's putting in the effort. He's controlling possession. Right now, Connor Garland feels to me like early 2023, 24, when he was clearly playing well, but had like 5 points in 20 games. That's the kind of Connor Garland I'm seeing right now on the ice. Again, playing well, but the points just aren't there. And that's fine. And, again, you just want to see the effort on a night-to-night basis. And you're seeing the effort from Garland. You're seeing the effort from Kiefer Sherwood. Again, you're just not seeing the effort from the Canucks stars. And that's got to change. The team's going to go on a run. But, you want to bring in some positivity. Let's go back to your aunt, man. Let's go back to Nancy Bhawan. You guys understand we are 4 points off of second place in the Pacific Division. And I think that's an important reminder right now, too. And again, we've said it already this week. Every day is no. The Canucks, despite everything they've gone through, are still in a pretty good spot. But there's a thirst, there's a hunger to see this team hit the next level here, especially over the next couple of weeks. And, the stretch drive is really going to be after the Four Nations in February. But you got to at least keep pace until then.
Yeah, just want to see some consistency. And again, trying to like find some positive. There was a moment there in the third period where, we were battling back after Carlson just dominates Pius Suter, does his thing, scores a big man's goal, makes it 2-1. Again, the Canucks are battling back, and we're climbing back in shots, and I'm like, you know what? From this like optimistic point of view, this seemed like a gritty game. Like the whole, for a really strong first period, got dominated in the second, but again, we're facing a really strong team in the Golden Knights. Those things happen, right? They haven't played in a long time. There's going to be the ebbs and flows in a game. And there we go, be really resilient after William Karlsson scores a goal, right? Like we're in the fight. Now I'm proud of the boys, but then again, I just look at the offense, man, the lack of shots, and it's like I can't get this team to pass here all the time. Like that's got to change, yo. That has to change. Like let's see some. It's not stupid for Canucks fans to ask when you're paying almost $20 million for 2 number 1 centers on your team. To, just dream of having like 4 games in a row where this team is taking 29 shots a game or 31 shots. You know what I'm saying? Hey, give me a 40 every now and then. But again, the top guys aren't going. And, Trevor, I hate to do this, but even when we beat Florida, how did we beat Florida? Max Sasson.
Again, the depth guys have really been stepping up for your Vancouver Canucks. And, like I said about Garland and DeBrusk, I mean, those guys aren't really going right now. But there are ebbs and flows with your stars, right? I don't think Miller, Pettersson, and Besser are going to be bad forever. And you saw Rick Talka kind of throw the desperation Lotto Line stuff tonight. So, again, maybe this is all what's that? Sorry?
Bring it back. Come on, man. That's the answer, sorry to cut you off there, but again, we saw irony in how the game ended. JT Miller, the firebug, is that a word? The guy who's super hot, as in not hot like that, but a hot head. Okay. That's what I meant to say. Okay. The hot head. That's what JT Miller is. Behind the net. Behind the net, hands in the air. Lankinen not getting out of the net, it kind of traumatized us, reminded us of the D'Elia thing. And then again, Pettersson screwing up the entry, all that jazz. Vegas scores a goal. The ending of that game was so ironic based on all the noise. And it just seems like the magical way to fix this is to get the Lotto Line going. So Trevor Beggs, it may sound stupid, but I think I want to see it, man. I think I want to see it ASAP. We saw this team do pretty well without JT Miller. Pius Suter did elevate for a bit. I'm not talking about keeping it forever, but there would be a Shaq and Kobe-esque feeling to this, that they could resolve this. Maybe they will never resolve their issue, but let's say they can get together and just play hockey together at an elite level together with that 1-2 punch on the same line or on the power play. Dude, that's a cool story. That's sports, and that's the mature way to handle this. These guys have to take that next step in their game, for real.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think let's throw it to one more comment here as we wrap up here. Along the same lines, let's end a bit of a positive note here on Locked On.
Thank you.
Calder Kid Petey coming through with some good comments tonight, and I like this one. The funny thing about all this drama is if we go on a winning streak, all this Miller and Petey crap will disappear. And he's got a great point. Again, we're only at game 32 right now, right? And it's been a tumultuous start. This Miller Pettersson stuff, the power play stuff, it's all very bizarre. You just don't see teams do this. It's happened throughout history, but it does not happen often where stars are at odds like this and the coaches flip-flopping them and making them compete for time on the first power play. It is a bizarre situation, but winning fixes everything. And the Canucks got the skill here to go on a streak and win some games. I'm not sure what point of the season is going to happen, but again, we're not even at the halfway point of the season. So I'm still believing in this team to turn it around. And I don't think at Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford, I think they always want to make deals. They want to improve this team, but I don't think they're going to be trigger happy to the point where they make a move out of a gut reaction. Everything they do is going to be calculated and for the betterment of the team. So again, I'm believing in these guys to turn around. I would like to see them play together. I'm honestly on board with that at this point. I mean, Kyle, you keep bringing up Shaq and Kobe. And Shaq and Kobe, obviously in basketball, you share the court for most of the game when you're a star player. And maybe we're at the point now where, unless Rick Talka thinks it's completely untenable, and again, that's dark, that's a different story. I think you just got to play them together and hope they figure it out.
Me too, bro, because at the base level, and again, shout out to Calder Kid Petey. Thanks for producing the show today. Congratulations. He's saying that this is a good team and all we need is a spark. And, just going back to what Bondi said at the beginning of the episode when we fired his ass, maybe it is on Quinn Hughes to just put an end to this. Let's get together for real. Let's come together as a team. Maybe that's the spark, and maybe they get together and they go out with the boys tonight and they feel good. And then Saturday, hockey night in Canada against the Ottawa Senators, and the Lotto Line picks up 2 or 3 goals, and that's the spark, And we're emotional. We're emotional again. We're invested going into the season based on the high that we went on last year, and maybe our expectations could be a lot more quote unquote manageable and just more subdued. But at the same time, I'm sorry, when our goaltending is this damn good, and I know we have AHL defensemen playing, but Quinn Hughes is that damn good as well. And then we also are paying again $20 million to 2 centers. I'm gonna have really high expectations. I've never seen a Canucks roster built like this before. So it's fair for me to think that they should be generating more often than not, way more shots. They should be more consistent. They shouldn't be sleeping in first periods. I know they didn't do it today, but I'm saying it's fair to critique because that's what being a fan's all about. And we educated it. It should be a lot better. Straight up. Anyways, we'll get a lot better. We're trying out here. Bondy, we'll bring him back, okay? Hopefully the ups don't listen to this episode and we can bring him back, okay? One love to Bondy. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out a lot. Merry Christmas. One love to you. Stay positive, man. Five God, Canucks suck. Is that... Five God just commented, Canucks suck, man. Okay, you know what? I'm producing the show out of this guy's studio. We share the same studio. Five God, man. This is why the city don't support you, man. That's what I'm going to say right there, buddy. You suck.
Unbelievable, man. Five God with the low blow. I'd say go check him out on Spotify.
Don't check him out. His music sucks. Five God sucks, man. Five God sucks. Five God makes Coco Melon music, man. Get the F out of here, man. Baby-ish,
oh
man.
God damn, man. A lot of laughs on this episode. Thanks for joining us for the ride through the F-bombs and the chirps, whether you're an everydayer or a first-time listener or anyone in between. We love each and every one of you. You tuning in, you are what makes Locked On Canucks what it is. Like Kyle said, I feel like what we're doing.
Listen to Five God on mute. Listen to Five God on mute, okay? Listen to Five God on mute.
All right, Colin Five got to go ahead and scrap now. I got to go finish my beer and write for Daily Hive. Again, you've been listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Cal Bound. We'll be back tomorrow, baby.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.